Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. First of all, let me apologise for the noise. It's raining and I'm in my conservatory as usual with the plastic roof which amplifies the sound. Hopefully you'll find it relaxing. Quite a few of you have said in the past that you quite like the sound of the rain on the roof. Anyway, thank you for coming back to my channel. Today we have got a subject, signature scents, and I've picked signature fragrances from the niche slash indie slash higher end category. So these are all on the more expensive side, but some of them are not that expensive, but they are all a little bit harder to find, unlikely to find most of these in the average shops on the high street. Hopefully I can come back and do a more affordable option for you, as it has been requested by a few people, including the lovely Drill Bit, hello Drill Bit, who's asked me to focus a little bit more on mainstream fragrances. So I'm going to try and do that, but my heart does lie with some of the more niche and indie stuff. So I'm not going away from that, but I'm going to try and bring in a little bit more mainstream stuff as well. So let's get started. I've got 10 fragrances for you, and I believe they are all signature scent worthy. They are fragrances that I think are very versatile, that you can wear day, night, and pretty much any season and any occasion. So they're very much workhorse type fragrances that smell very good. They are all considered unisex. No fragrance here is specifically marketed to any gender. It's up to you whether you particularly like wearing these notes that are in the fragrances. I'm going to start with one which is really new to me, and therefore you could almost consider it an honourable mention if you're into honourable mentions, and I'm not. So we're just going to go with this one first, and it's Violet in Love by Nikolai. Nikolai Parfums. This is brand new to me. It was gifted to me by my lovely frag head friends Lizzie, John, Scott and Sue. I wore it today. I've worn it a couple of times from a decant that Lizzie sent me, and I wore it today. It's a lovely musky violet raspberry concoction. I've got the notes actually, because in the box was this lovely little leaflet, and it's got the notes: lemon, blackcurrant, raspberry, rose iris, violet, coriander, black pepper and musk. And what you get from this is, in the opening, it's a little bit fizzy, so I think that's probably coming from the lemon. It's a slightly fizzy feel. It doesn't feel like a lemon fragrance at all, but you just get this fizz, so it's a little bit fresh. And then you get the lovely purple hued feel. So this combination of blackcurrant, raspberry, rose and violet all together just gives you this lovely sweet purple feel, almost lipsticky. Of course you've got a little bit of iris in there, and it's also got musk, so it gives you that kind of like fluffy, clean, soft feel. So it's a perfect everyday scent. It's pretty, it's soft, but you can notice it. You might want to respray after about 4 or 5 hours. It's an eau de toilette, so it's not going to be the biggest performing fragrance out there, but it certainly did okay on me. It has a bit of a comforting feel, a reassuring, clean, soft, pretty feel, which I really enjoy. If you like violet and if you like fruitiness, then you may well enjoy that, and it's a perfect all-rounder fragrance. So Violet in Love from Nikolai. Next one, another one that's pretty new to me, Bukhara from Galavant. I have this one on this wrist here, and this is an iris. It's an iris fragrance. That's the main note. It's also musky, spicy. There's some jasmine, but try not to think about the notes here. This is more of a soft, fluffy, musky, beautiful, ethereal, cloud-like aura. This isn't really a perfume, this is an aura. And when you first spray it, it actually smells like silk. It reminds me of silk. And then as it develops, that sort of subsides a little bit, but it's very fluffy, very soft. Everything's so lovely blended that you don't really pick out any specifics. You can just get a slightly warm, spicy feel. You get a slightly sweet ambery element. It gently develops on your skin, but it's very much a your skin but better kind of scent, but it has a really decent noticeability. So even though it's your skin but better, it's not a skin scent. And very, very comforting, very soft, very easy to wear, very clean. And I'm absolutely loving this one at the moment, really loving it. So it's Bukhara, the brand new release from Galavant. Is a perfect everyday fragrance. You could definitely wear it day or night. The only thing I'd say about this, and pretty much every fragrance here, is you might not want to wear it on the very hottest days of the year, particularly if you're outside, not in a controlled environment. And they're the times to reach for your citrus cologne style fragrances. But apart from that, all of these are really, really versatile. And the next one I've got for you is called Grâce d'Orient, and this is by Angelos Olfactives Creations, and he's an indie perfumer, only really just starting out fairly recently. His website I don't think is yet up and running. If it is, I'll link it below. This is a vintage style fragrance. Angelos is inspired by the fragrances of Caron, I understand, and actually before I read about that, when I was smelling his samples, I felt like they reminded me of Caron fragrances. So I feel like he is definitely inspired by that. He spent a lot of time in Paris working with different perfumers and in the traditional methods of perfumery. So his fragrances are very high in natural oils, and they are much more on the vintage side of things. So if you like a vintage classic type perfume, think of the much older Guerlains, the classic Guerlains and the classic Carons, then you may well find that you love this one. So Grâce d'Orient has this gorgeous grittiness about it. It's like a little bit of spice, which I think is carnation. There might be a little bit of spicy carnation. There's ylang ylang, there's some vanilla. The vanilla is very natural. It's a natural vanilla, and it comes through a bit later in the wearing of the fragrance. Very musky and just like this earthy grittiness to it. Really, really love this one. Very classic feeling perfume. I think it's one of those, it's almost like old Hollywood feel that you might get from this one. Very much a glamorous perfume, but it's not big, bold. It's not like your 80s big, bold type fragrances. It's much more muted and subtle and understated, and I absolutely love this one, and I could happily wear this day or night or to any occasion, and I'm always going to feel fabulous wearing Grâce d'Orient. So now for something a little more on the fresh side, and this is Tom Ford Venetian Bergamot. This one is actually a gardenia fragrance more so than anything else, but it's not a fatty, over the top, too exotic, too heady gardenia, because it's balanced with this sharp, fresh bergamot and citrus accord. And then in the dry down, it gets a little woody, a little bit musky. There's a hint of sweetness, but this isn't a sweet or gourmand type fragrance. The sweetness comes from the florals, I think, and it's very long lasting for a fresh fragrance. It's quite fresh, keeps you feeling refreshed and invigorated, and it will last you the whole working day. So it's it's perfect for day, perfect for night, any season. I rock it more so in the warmer weather, but I'll also sometimes wear it in the darker days of the year, and it does really, really well. So that's Venetian Bergamot from Tom Ford. And this one is Angelique. It's by Papillon Perfumery. This is an iris scent. It's a little bit green, a little bit woody. There's some mimosa in here. It smells a bit violety as well. It's clean, it's musky, but it's got a little bit of a je ne sais quoi. It's a beautiful blend, and it's not particularly sweet. It has a little bit of freshness, and it's just a perfect everyday, day-to-day fragrance. I really enjoy that one. There's a gorgeous iris note in here. And it's balanced by this woodsiness and this greenness. That's Papillon Angelique. This is the only rose fragrance in here. I thought about a couple of different rose fragrances. This is the one I feel is the most balanced in terms of fresh and sweet, suitable for pretty much every occasion. It's Me Too by NB Parfums. Perfume is Nan Bailey. She was inspired by Angels, and this one has rose, sandalwood, vanilla, a little bit of cinnamon. This one is grounded with the sort of the sandalwood, almost like a after the rain type scent in here as well. Raspberry and rose make the rose a bit jammy. It's a bit sweet. You've got the vanilla, you've got lovely creamy sandalwood, a beautiful fragrance that lasts all day long, completely work in any situation. It's a little bit fresh. I think there's a grapefruit note in here as well. I think there's something fresh in here as well. So it's a bit fresh, so it will be fine for you in the warmer weather, but also has enough depth with the woods and the spices and the vanilla to take you through the colder days. Really, really enjoy that fragrance. Me Too, with gorgeous rose in there. This one is by Sven, Pritzkoleit, NB Parfums, and I've gone with NB Musk. This is a beautiful fragrance. It has this gorgeous aged patchouli. Now, I'm not a patchouli fan. I'm always harking on about how I don't like too much patchouli, but Sven has this particular patchouli which I really love, and it's this dry, dusty, slightly sweet patchouli. Now, there's hawthorn in here, which is like a sweet green note, but it's not that green. It's sweet and juicy, really. It's a little bit fresh, it's got depth, it really changes on the skin. There's a note of skin musks in here, so Sven's gone for a human muskiness that's not too dirty. And there's also some jasmine sambac, but it's all blended so lovely that you wouldn't really pick it out as a jasmine scent as much as you just realise it's blended with everything else. It just adds a layer of beauty to it. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous fragrance, very potent, long lasting, and I would happily wear that day or night. It feels very special. If I wear it on a night out, I wake up the next day and I can smell it, and I always think, wow, this is beautiful. I just love it. NB Musk. Now we have one from 4160 Tuesdays. This is Cloud's Illusion Parfum. You can't get this anymore, but you can get the newer reinvention. So Cloud's Illusion was made with synthetic substitutes for the most expensive ingredients. The narcissus, the iris, the vanilla, and a few other things were all just synthetics. And then there was a more expensive option, which was where they were all natural. Now, what Sarah McCartney's done is she's reformulated and kind of put the two together. So there's, in the version that's now available, which is called Both Sides of Clouds, you actually get some naturals and some synthetics, and she's balanced it all out to make it more affordable so that everyone can have a go. This one is irisy. It's kind of rain-like, slightly earthy, slightly sweet. There's a little bit of vanilla that comes through. There's some bergamot, there's some narcissus. Almost smells a little bit like white chocolate. Almost smells a tiny bit like coffee. It's quite a complex fragrance. It changes on your skin, but it's balanced because you've got the fresh sweetness of the bergamot and the depth of the vanilla, a little hint of woods. I think this, I'm not sure if there's lemon, or it smells lemony, but it might just be the bergamot smells lemony. So it's a really great balance between sweet and fresh and sharp, and the development is amazing. Again, this one will last you all day, and it's an absolutely beautiful creation. The version you can get now is called Both Sides of Clouds. I haven't tried it, but I understand it's going to be fairly close to Cloud's Illusion. And the next one, this is Blue Lotus from Tioni Reinfeldt. So this is the Australian perfume house, also known as TRNP. And this one has Blue Lotus in it. So Blue Lotus is a floral that's a little bit like the sort of tropical frangipani type florals. To me, it's a tiny bit soapy, not exactly soapy, but clean. It's a very clean floral with this gorgeous undertone. You've got vanilla and you've got some resins that give it a real backbone. I'm not sure if there's a hint of sandalwood in here as well. It's very exotic, but it's not really heady. It's very easy to wear, it's very beautiful, it's not challenging, it's just lovely. It's Blue Lotus, so that would work absolutely night, all day, and pretty much any season. And my last one is a Guerlain. It's Mon Precious Nectar. There we have it, Mon Precious Nectar. I have mine in a Guerlain Travel Atomizer, and this one is probably the most gourmand out of everything here. None of these are full-on gourmands. A couple of them have some gourmand elements, like with the vanilla and stuff, but this one has almond and vanilla, which takes it a little more in the gourmand direction, but it's also fresh with this lovely orange blossom. I think there's some citruses in here. It smells like there's iris, there's definitely vanilla. It's quite rich, but it's not too heavy, so it retains a freshness from the fresh orange blossom, and the almond and the vanilla doesn't go thick and heavy. It doesn't feel synthetically sweet. It smells like what bees' bums would smell like. It's called Mon Precious Nectar, and it always brings to mind flowers, blossoming flowers with the stamens covered in powder. It's a little bit powdery, and also almost like the dewdrops. Some flowers give off a sugary dewdrop, don't they? And it kind of reminds me of that as well. Very sort of almost honeyed. It's not a honey scent, but it almost is honeyed. Some people call it a skin scent. On me, it's not. I get a decent projection. It is a parfum concentration, and usually the stronger concentrations, parfums, are usually actually closer to the skin. They usually last longer, but they stay closer to the skin. But on me, I've had compliments from people standing a fair distance away, so I get quite good performance from it, but other people say it's a skin scent. I do spray a lot though, and of course that's going to affect how much people will smell it on you. I just love it. I think it's very special, it's very beautiful, but it could totally work as a signature scent. But you will probably find that everyone is always following you around if you wear this one, because it's absolutely beautiful. So that is my signature scent worthy fragrances. Let me know, what are your signature scent worthy fragrances? Are you a fragrance collector and therefore you just don't have a signature scent, or do you have maybe one or two that you wear a lot more than the others and therefore you would consider them a signature scent? Or are you a person that's currently searching for that perfect signature scent and you're watching this as research to figure out if you can find it maybe amongst this list? Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.